G'day folks, it's Jack and Brody, two of the physiotherapists up here at Be Mobile, and welcome to the Be Mobile show. This afternoon we are going to be testing your balance. Yeah. You're going to be getting up at home and actually testing your balance live, just as we do it live. And then, even better, Brody, we're going to compare your scores to the norms of people your age.
Yeah, so you're going to know if your balance is subpar, if it's decent, or if it's very good.
Yes, that's really good. Now, speaking of really good.
Yes.
A guy goes door to door looking for work, right? It's a good story, this one. And one homeowner hands him a brush, hands him a brush and a can of paint and offers him $150 to paint his Porsche.
To paint his Porsche, that's pretty good.
Paint his Porsche. A few hours later, the guy comes back to the homeowner and says, "I'm finished, but you should know that your car's a Ferrari, not a Porsche." Good joke.
Yeah.
I think I can actually hear the laughter.
Yeah, people were in
around
hysterics
the world
on that one.
Yeah, it's a shocker, isn't it?
Okay, we got a few people. Libby says hello, Barbara, Karen, everyone, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just get straight into it. We're going to run you through a balance test that you can do at home, and then, as I said before, we're going to compare your scores to people your age. Then we're going to help you understand how you can improve your balance over time, which a lot of our members will know, but it's always good to have reminders, guys, because that's the best way to educate yourself. Brody, balance, pretty important to live day to day.
Yes, it is. It's our ability to maintain our center of mass over our base of support, which is just another way of saying staying upright and not falling over. Balance, we usually think of it in terms of standing, but sitting balance and things is relevant as too. If you're doing certain activities in gymnastic positions or whatever, there's balance specific to those. But most people, when they're talking about balance, we're talking about being able to stay upright and on your feet intentionally. And it is very important for daily life, isn't it?
Yes, and people think, well, you know, at the moment I'm pretty likely to stay upright on my feet. What am I worried about? But you got to remember that there is a natural decline in balance, like there is other things as you age. And one thing we see with people that we work with in home is that, you know, people in their, let's just say 90s, who aren't able to get out into the community as much, is just standing upright and actually maintaining your balance can be quite a difficult thing for those people. So if you don't work on it now and mitigate some of those losses, it gets very hard to just do simple tasks. Brady, have you got any examples of this for your in-home clients, the people that you see in their homes?
Oh yeah, certainly. I've got clients that have stairs up to their house and can't leave the house without someone with them because they don't have good enough balance to get down the stairs. So that's something where you'd not want to, where you'd have an issue. Certain people that can't, you know, struggle to even make themselves a cup of tea or a sandwich because that requires standing at the kitchen bench and being balanced, and their balance is bad.
And they can't walk with the tea.
It's going to be an issue. Yeah, that's a good point. If you need a walker or something, then often it's hard to carry things. Yeah, so there's a few examples.
Okay. We know it's important. It's also important, we know it's important as you get older and older, but it's also just important for activities. Let's just go through something like playing tennis.
Yeah.
You can imagine running over the court, being able to hit that and then balance on that one leg as you then scoot back over to the other side. Going for a hike in the bush.
Yep.
You know, it's important to be able to just hop over a log and maintain your single leg balance. So yeah, I think there is a lot. I mean, you could probably name about 1 million reasons you should be improving your balance, those people at home. But, you know, send us a comment throughout all of this if you feel like you want to tell us about your balance story, or if you have any questions about balance, and we would love to answer them.
Yeah, and it does typically decline with age. We'll see that when we go through this test and then look at the data. With increasing age, people's balance scores are worse on this test, which we would expect. So that's all the more reason, though, even if your balance is pretty good now, you want to work at it, get it as good as you can be. Like with strength and fitness and bone density, we always talk about building that buffer. We want a good balance buffer as well, so you can keep doing things you love and things that bring you joy in your later years.
Beautiful. Well, I'm just going to get the screen up, Brody, so I can see actually what I'm doing.
That would probably be helpful. Now, we are going to get into we're going to do the test. Jack's going to do it. You can all do it at home as well. And we're going to run through this little test together.
Okay. Let's just make sure I'm out of shot there, Brody. Is that out of shot?
That's looking good. Yeah, you'll need to move that stool, sir. Get a bit of space here. Beautiful. Back up a little bit so we can see your feet. Little bit more. Yeah, that around there looks pretty
very
good.
hard doing the mirroring.
Yeah. You step left and you go on the screen.
So first thing I got to do, Brody.
Yeah, this test is to be done barefoot officially. So if you're playing along at home and you want to do an accurate test yourself, barefoot is the way to do it.
Oh God!
On a good level flat surface. Now, to do the test officially, you would do it 3 times. I don't think we'll do all 3 here together, but
no,
people can do it. You can do your other tests later. If you want to do one with us now, and then you could do more tests later. But officially, we're going to be doing it. You do it 3 times and average out your scores. Okay, Jack. The test is you're going to stand barefoot, which is you're going to stand on your preferred leg with the other foot raised off the floor, just so it's near your other ankle. Perfect. Now, the key thing is you can't let that Jack's right foot here touch his ankle. Show us what that looks like. You're not allowed to do that. The feet have to be separate. Now, you can just focus on a spot straight ahead and keep
I'm just going to look at the camera.
Yeah, you can just look stare straight down the barrel of the camera. Now, for the whole test, you want to have your arms folded across your chest like this. So now you would be doing the test and we'd start the timer, but we're not going to start timing yet because we've got a couple more things to explain. If Jack has to reach his arms out at any point, that's when we would stop the test. So if you're at home, you have to reach out, you have to grab onto something, or just wave your arms out like that, the test will have to stop. If you touch, in Jack's case, his right leg to his other leg like that for support, test stops. And obviously if you have to put that one foot down, the test stops. Or if you just have to excessively move that leg out in any way. So the idea is you really want to try and stay as still as you can. Little wobbles and adjustments is fine, but mostly we're trying to stay still and hold that position. Very nice. I think I've explained it all, Jack.
Yeah. So
we're going to have a little rest and then we'll do it officially.
Yeah, I was going to say I've done a workout at lunch as well, so my calves are pretty sore. If you're at home, get up. You don't have to take your shoes off, as we said. That's not mandatory. But please do get up and join in and let us know what you got in the comments. Although some people might be going for so long that they might never get back to the show. Well, I'm going to time myself on here, Brody.
The test stops after 45 seconds. So if you can get that, you're kind of at the maximum level. So as we said, shoes off is if you're doing it officially, but you don't have to. You can get a good idea with shoes on. They don't make a big difference.
Should we give it a go?
Yeah, you're going to go for it, 45 seconds. Do you want me to time you or are you going to do it?
Yeah, maybe you can time me, mate.
I can set up. Give me 10 seconds. I'll get a little time.
So get set up at home, folks. As we do this, Brody's just going to be explaining the rules again.
Yep. You ready to go? Arms
ready
folded.
to go.
On your marks. Get set. Go. Foot off the ground, and we are underway.
So hopefully you're doing this alongside of me at home.
Yep.
You probably notice, as soon as you cross your arms, you're taking away some of that balance point.
Yeah, so
you probably
have to stop there.
And you probably notice you're wobbling a bit at the ankle maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe at the hip a bit.
Definitely.
But as long as we're maintaining general stability here and not whipping our leg out, we're pretty good to go.
So we're 25 seconds now. The test stops if you, remember, have to stick your arms out, have to stick your leg out excessively, put your foot down, or touch your other leg with your foot.
My feet are feeling it.
Yeah, we're coming up on it. That's 40 seconds, 5 to go if you can. 2, 3, 44, 45. There we go, very nice. Okay, have a rest, Jack, that will do.
Should we quickly do the eyes closed?
Yeah.
This is not mandatory, but just to show the difference.
Yeah, you can try. Our balance heavily relies on our vision. So Jack, if you want to try, same thing, all the same rules, but eyes closed. And we'll show the scores on screen in a minute. The scores are much, much lower with the eyes closed.
Yeah, so this is the second kind of hardest part of the test.
We won't do 45 seconds, but we'll see if Jack can do it for a bit. Yeah, he's pretty good. Oh, he's showing off now. All right, very nice.
But you can seriously feel there's a big difference as soon as you kind of go, you have to open your eyes. So that's kind of the second part of the test, but you don't have to do that one at home.
So officially barefoot, 3 times on one leg, and average out the scores, and that's how you officially get your score. Okay, and I think that's good for the test, Jack. We'll bring the results up on screen.
Sweet as, and make sure you share your results. Doesn't matter if you're doing this live or post hoc. Just make sure you let us know in the comments
what
you actually got. How did you go, Brody? We're looking at some scores here. So what you're seeing on the graph, ladies and gentlemen. So they've done studies where they've done this test for different age groups. As you can see, this is from ages 50 all the way up to 89. And they've taken, those are the averages of the people, so the normative data, I guess you could say. So what is the average of your age group? So
yeah, it's just average healthy people.
Yeah, so if you take anyone from 50 to 59, so if you're in that age group, the average across 3 tests, by the way, so you would do this 3 times and average that out, is 37 seconds. Okay, so pretty close to that 45 mark. 60 to 69, you can see that drops quite a bit. 10 seconds is a lot. To 27. People in 70 to 79 age group, 15 seconds, and then people from the 80 to 89 age group, 6 seconds. And you can imagine, you know, being able to hold 37 seconds all the way down to 6 seconds. That is a big 31-second gap. And that would probably show up in people's daily lives, I dare say.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see the big difference with eyes closed, how much shorter those those averages are. Yeah, as little as 5 seconds.
Okay, let's talk about what those, well, not what the numbers mean, but depending on what you got, what it might mean for you. So, Brody, depending on if someone got above or below the scores for their age, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, definitely below average is, of course, not where we want to be. And as we said, it does decline with age, so you're not in a good position for the future if you're below average. So that's a sign to really work on your balance. Even if you're around average, that's still really, like, we don't want to be just average, we want to do even better than that. So definitely, something to work on.
And then even if you were doing really well, let's just say you blew it out of the water, you got 45 seconds easy. That doesn't mean, okay, sweet, I'm good for the future, I'm just going to let it go naturally. I would say this is a perfect opportunity to say, well, I'm going to stay on top of my balance and improve it as much as possible.
Yeah, or at least keep it this good. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, to still have this good balance.
Great.
So a few people sharing in some of how they did on this test. I'll bring the scores away and then we can share some of these.
Let's share some of the comments there, Brody. I'd love to see
Sarah said shoes and socks off at work. Sarah got full time with open eyes and 5 seconds with eyes shut. So pretty nice, Sarah, pretty good work there. Karen said, so pleased I did it and didn't fall over. Very good. Yeah, that is ideal, not to fall over doing the test. Barbara Brown, 75 years, 45 seconds, really nice, good, solid score, Barbara. You're right. You're well above the average for your age range, which is really good.
30 seconds above your average, actually.
Gillian says, I did this previously, managed over 45 seconds 3 times and around 5 seconds eyes closed. So yeah, we're seeing that big effect of eyes closed. Carmel, absolutely smashing it, full time with eyes open. She said eyes closed too, so I don't know if that's 2 seconds or she means eyes closed also full time, which would be very impressive.
Great.
Yeah, a few other people sharing.
Carol there says she got 1 minute 35.
Yeah, nice. So smashed the top of the score there. E. Davidson says age 70, stopped at 50 seconds, eyes open. Really nice.
Great.
Yeah, great to see. Great to see. Thanks everyone for sharing.
And then April also says there that there's a difference between the sides down the bottom there. I think Brody, the comment from April. Yeah, there's going to be a much difference in a lot of people's sides. That's why we say choose your dominant side. My best side is for sure my left side. My right side seems to fatigue a lot quicker. So yeah, it's going to be different for different people.
Yeah. Carmel confirmed she meant only 2 seconds with eyes closed. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's, as you see, with those eyes closed scores are very low.
Okay, let's talk about, therefore, how you can improve your balance. The first and most obvious answer, Brody, would be balance-specific training. So what are we talking about there?
Yeah, things that are exercises done deliberately to challenge your balance. It needs to be a high-level challenge to your balance to get the best results. What does high-level challenge mean? It generally means you are standing up on your feet, you are not holding on to anything ideally, and you are doing things that challenge either narrow your base of support or challenge your movement of your center of mass. So basically that means you should be wobbling around, you should be struggling, you should be failing in quotes every so often, meaning having to grab onto something or stabilize.
Yeah.
Because that's a sign you are really challenging your balance enough.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because we get a lot of people who say, yeah, I'm doing my balance exercise, I stand for 30 seconds on each leg quite still every day. Yeah, that means your balance is probably pretty decent, but you're not challenging it. It'd be like saying, I'm doing 100 reps of the squats with at body weight and I'm not adding weight, but I'm strong for body weight. So no, you need to challenge yourself, add some weight so you're fatiguing after 10 or 15 reps, for example.
Yeah, so there's lots of simple balance exercises you can do. Research shows we need to do quite a lot of training. Just 5 minutes, 2 minutes here and there doesn't really make a difference. You have to accumulate quite a lot throughout the week. But here are some ways you can do more balance training. We've got some free videos on YouTube of balance exercises, which we'll share in the comments. If you haven't seen those, some of those longer YouTube videos where we go through a bunch of different exercises which you can try.
Yeah, Alicia, do you mind popping the link to that video in there? It's a Boost Your Balance 5 easy exercises. You know, things like Tai Chi, where it's very mindful balance exercises, you know, a lot of yoga moves, that type of thing. But Brody, it's not just specific balance training which actually improves your balance. So you just made the remark that you have to do a lot of balance training, but do you just want to, let's get a little more nuanced on that. Does that mean it's only balance training that you're going to do?
Yeah, so other types of exercise are going to also improve your balance as well. So strength training can be an important part of balance as well, particularly if you are lacking strength. So that's like, obviously, the strength training you're doing in your membership programs. For those of you that are Be Mobile members, you're getting all of your strength training there, but you can see a lot of those exercises, even upper body things like overhead presses and stuff. If you're standing, you're upright, they are challenging your balance a little bit.
Think about stepping out, doing a lunge or something like that, or even a squat. And we see this in action, as you said, with your in-home clients. Sometimes they might do a squat or a press overhead, and it's actually really hard for them to do that. So that's like further down the track that you can see some of those deficits happening. You know, and we have a lot of people joining us from the recent 7-day, well, it's still going on, sorry, the 7-day at-home exercise kickstart. And, you know, something like the 8-week Fit and Strong program that you're going to hear about, that's, you know, something perfect for improving your balance as well. Because that also has aerobic training, which is the third type of thing that could potentially improve your balance.
So again, a lot of the times, the kind of exercise you might do for aerobic or cardio exercise is going to meet a lot of those criteria anyway. So if you're doing things where you're up on your feet, you're doing fast foot movements, aerobic type exercises, cardio stuff, that's all going to be challenging your balance as well.
For sure. I mean, even something as simple as running, like going for a run, there's obviously a lot of balance involved in that, especially if it's out in the bush and you're dodging things.
Yeah, I will say research shows that walking programs and just doing walking is not going to improve your balance. It's not challenging enough. But yeah, potentially things like running or like bushwalking, hiking on uneven terrain and stuff, that certainly would. But just walking out and about on the street on footpaths isn't enough to improve your balance.
And I would say something, and because I love dancing myself, I reckon dance as an activity would be a phenomenal way to improve your balance because of all the twisting and the turning and the fast feet, especially when you're having to coordinate it with a partner who has 2 left feet. Okay. Lastly, general physical activity. I think this has got to be something that people do more and more of. And what are we talking about there, Brody?
Just anything where you're out and moving. It could be gardening, could be looking after pets, grandkids, just activity where you're out and about and your body is physically moving is all obviously helpful.
Beautiful. Yeah, and that includes things like, you know, people say it all the time, but, you know, taking the stairs instead of the escalator, that will help you improve your balance when you're going up and down stairs. You just spoke about before, some of your in-home clients aren't able to actually go up and down stairs because they don't practice that. So there's another good point there. Now, if you're a Be Mobile member, you're likely doing all of these things because we encourage you to do it so much, and that's what the program gives you. But if you're not, start small. You know, start with a simple strength workout, any of our balance exercises that Alicia just shared with you.
Yeah, very nice.
Cool.
Okay.
Any other comments in there, Brody, which we
got a
need to be aware of?
Question. Sandy, I believe, has asked a question, which I was just trying to find in the comments there. Yeah, she says, when I'm doing a balance exercise like a march and stop or an ice skater, I tend to lean to the side when stopping. Is this okay? So if we demonstrate that.
Do you want to...
So it's something like, we sometimes do a balance exercise where we're doing a little side step to the side like that. And what she's saying is she might land and kind of lean over and wobble her body like that. Yeah, that's totally fine. That just shows it is significantly challenging your balance. Your base of your center of mass is moving, your body's having to adjust and stabilize. So yeah, totally fine. That's a good sign that it is a challenging exercise.
So really, it's just a strategy
Yeah.
for your body to stay upright.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and our body, you know, ankle wobbling, people say, oh, my ankle's wobbling, that means I've got bad balance. No, that just means you're challenging yourself and your body's using the ankle stabilizers, the muscle around your ankle, to actually help you stay upright. They're all just strategies.
Yeah, great.
Okay, excellent. Well, check any more questions through. Have we got any?
Yeah, there's a couple of other interesting ones. Catherine says, I'm learning balance on a half ball 5 minutes at a time on the right leg. I can do the treadmill without holding on now. Yeah, you say that's good. That's it. Balance has improved and Catherine can do the treadmill without holding on, which is fantastic.
Oh, this is a great one from Brenda there.
Yeah, Brenda spent the last 2 days fighting to stay upright on the high moors of the north of England, dog training. Stayed upright so far, very challenging terrain, extra difficult holding onto an excited 2-year-old 32 kilo English setter?
I was going to say, I've seen the beautiful pictures that Brenda posts in the membership Facebook group of her English setters. They're very kind of like longer haired dogs with a bit of a mottled coat. They're absolutely beautiful.
Janet asks a really good and thought-provoking question here. It seems to me that having good reflexes is really important to save yourself if you start to lose balance.
Yeah,
Does
nice.
balance training help reflexes too? So what Janet's really talking about there is what we would call reaction time. Which is how quickly you can react to if you start losing your balance. We're not actually sure if that itself can be improved. We know it typically declines with age, and we don't have good enough research to say whether the reaction time itself can be improved. But what definitely can be improved is what we like to call your agility, which is your ability to quickly step your foot out, which is why a lot of the time in our balance workouts and our balance stuff that we do, we include some agility. So some balance stuff that involves fast stepping over things, shifting forward and back, side to side.
Yeah.
Because that stuff does help when you do start to lose your balance, you're better at quickly stepping your foot out.
Yeah, and even further to that, I would say if you have the opportunity to play sports within that team environment where, for example, tennis, there's a ball coming at you. You know, you have to move quickly. If you're a dancer, you might have to coordinate your feet around someone else. So doing things around other people is a great way to improve your reaction.
Yeah.
Great.
There we go. Margaret says I was probably sitting too long doing a crossword, went to join in and my right leg gave out under me. Thank God I've been following your balance strategy. So yeah, good on you, Margaret. Thanks.
Yeah, make sure you warm up properly.
Yeah. And Sarah says, I have to balance on good leg on crutches due to broken ankle while bushwalking. Yeah.
Yes, and we are actually going to be talking about your question, Sarah.
Yeah.
So, folks, just quickly, if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel or our Facebook, make sure you do so right now so you don't miss out on any of these shows or any of the great content that we are going to be putting out in the coming months, because we would not want you to miss out on that. And just quickly, there's quite a few new 8-week Fit and Strong program participants within our membership Facebook group. So I just want to say a big welcome to those people starting off their journey. The first and most important thing you should do in your 8-week Fit and Strong program is to go to the introductory workout in week 1 and get that done as soon as possible. That's going to kickstart you into the program really successustly.
Yeah. We actually know that the sooner people start that workout, the more successful they are in the program.
Yep,
the more
we have
they
good
get
data
done.
around that now.
So yeah, we encourage you to get that first workout locked and loaded and done ASAP.
And let us know if you have any issues. We are here at Be Mobile to support you. So, Brady, let's go through to the Q&A section.
Yeah, we've got two pre-submitted questions to discuss.
But if you have any other questions, chuck
let us
them in
know.
the comments. Now, folks, obviously this advice is general, it's not specific. If you do have any serious issues, go and see your local physio, your doctor. This is just very general advice. So, Penny, who's a member of ours, she says, we left Australia at the end of December 2023 and been living on our own grown-up gap year. So they've been living in Scandinavia, Ireland, the UK. Sounds really cool, actually. And France in the last 4 months. Phew. B-Mobile has joined the ride with rocks from the wild Atlantic way and logs from the woodpile for my weights along the way. That's great. Today we head to Spain, and in 10 days I arrive in Porto to walk the Portuguese Camino, 286 kilometers to Santiago de Compostela. Compostela, over 14 days. There's my Espanol pronunciation. Just wondering if you can suggest some specific strength exercises without weights, as my 6 kilo backpack will be my world for 2 weeks. I would love to be able to wake up in the morning and warm up to get the body ready to tackle a 20 to 25 kilometer walk. Any tips and suggested programs, much appreciated. Sorry, I'm speaking the Spanish with the lisp.
So Penny, strength training is fantastic for preparing you to undertake a great physical endeavor like this.
I agree.
But you're planning to do a huge amount of walking over 14 days. I wouldn't be doing any strength training while you're on this walk. I would be focusing on getting your 20 to 25 kilometers per day completed.
That's the main goal.
Also doing strength training while doing that is just going to add unnecessary fatigue and stress to your body and just make the whole thing harder. So yeah, strength train in the lead up to something like this, but I wouldn't be strength training for those 2 weeks.
No.
I would just be focusing on the walk.
We certainly do appreciate your enthusiasm for the workouts. I think that's so cool. They've had that impact that you still want to continue them during your walk. But I agree with Brody. When it comes to warm-up, you could use some of the warm-ups from our workouts for sure. However, just doing some bodyweight squats in the morning, stretching, all these types of things are going to be fine. But remember, doing a light walk, kind of easing into your walk at the start of the day, really is the best warm-up.
But and you're going to get warmed up to walking pretty quickly. Like if you're doing 20 hours of walking over several hours per day, whether or not you did 5 minutes of exercises at the start of that really isn't going to make a difference for most of that walking. Because once you're off the first couple of 100 meters max, you're warmed up, you're at full walking mode anyway, so you probably don't need to do too much extra.
Yeah, so I just enjoy the walk.
Yeah.
One of our clients up here has done some of that section.
Yeah, a few of our online
Portugal.
clients have for sure as well.
Okay, thanks for the question. Sarah Brody, she says, I've been instructed, and this is the Sarah who's just commented, I've been instructed not to weight bear on my fractured leg. I have a trimalleolar fracture and a repair surgery of a plate and screws. I'm using a walker that requires me to push down through my wrists and hop on my good leg. Now that's crutches. Fortunately, the value of practicing sit to stand on one leg has been proven. Without having done the sit to stand sessions, I would be having great difficulty in getting up. So luckily you've done your strength workouts. I'm not sure what to do to maintain my strength given that I'm aggravating my neck, back and hips. With some of the, I guess this would be walking around so much on the crutches. I'd taken a lot of positive strides towards, positive strides forward in fitness and strength this year after years of illness and recovery from the last surgery. I feel I will go backwards. How do you build cardiovascular fitness when sedentary? And we mean when not being able to stand up.
Yeah, crutches are hard work. If you've ever had to use them, which I have a few times, it is tough on your arms, your neck, your shoulders. They're just exhausted. The other leg is doing so much work if your one leg's non-weight bearing. So I feel for you, Sarah. It is quite tough.
Yeah. So what can you do to improve your cardiovascular fitness? Like, the strength workouts that we give you, that will give you some cardiovascular benefit. It's going to get your heart pumping. However, we understand if you're not able to weight bear and stand up for a couple of weeks at least, it's going to be tough to get that going. But we do recommend keeping up your strength work, doing your upper body movements, your arms, your abs wherever possible.
Single leg squat, single leg sit to stand, single leg heel raises, all on the other leg, obviously.
Just think of it like it's just that leg that you're not working out. But everything else, you keep working.
Work your abs. Yeah, it is really hard to do cardio with a non-weight bearing leg. Like it just is really hard. The best way to do it successfully would be like a cycle ergometer, like a hand crank bicycle. But for most people, like you've had a fracture, it's probably not realistic or feasible or that useful to get something like that, to buy something like that just for the few weeks you're not going to be doing aerobic. You can if you're really keen, and I don't know your situation.
I was going to say, you might be able to rent them.
Potentially. You might have a local gym that has one and you could get a short-term membership or something, or if you're already a member of a gym, like those are options. That is the best way to kind of do it. That's how, people that are, that's how like someone in a wheelchair, someone paralyzed from the waist down would do cardio mostly, is that sort of thing. Or there's like I think they call it the ski ergometer. It's the one people stand and pull the things down. You can do that seated if your gym has those, where you're pulling the two rope things down and that's doing cardio. But yeah, you kind of need some, it's pretty tough to do cardio otherwise.
You could, I mean, this is not the most exciting way to do cardio, but you could sit in a chair, boxing, 30 seconds as hard as you can at a time with weights, boxing for example, and then do that, 10 sets of 30 seconds a day. That's a lot of high intensity cardio. But
it just will fatigue your arms a lot. Give it a go. But it just is very hard to do.
But I was also going to say, a stationary bike, you might, if you're in a boot with your fracture, you might be able to do that sooner than you think. If you're not putting heaps of pressure down, because you're not actually weight bearing that much.
So you just need clearance from the doctor and stuff to do that.
So do speak to your doctor.
Because even if you're at a stage where you're partial weight bearing, they might say, no, that still would be too much force. And it does just depend. So
I do agree.
Tough situation. The good thing is, Sarah, this is why we build up this strength and fitness buffer. So you can take a bit of a hit now and you'll get back to it, or you'll gain your strength and fitness back quickly once you get back into it, more quickly than you would have if you hadn't been doing this. So you'll get back on track soon.
Sweet as. All right, Brody, are there any more questions there?
Nothing specific. I know Marianne said a couple of comments which Alicia's replied to about the struggling with the video buffering and the focus. Yeah, it sounds like an internet issue for you, Marianne. Often when you're watching a video live like this, the internet struggles a little bit more. You can come back and watch this video, watch the replay of this video later, and often that will help. But it sounds like it's your internet issue that's causing it to be slow and buffering. And
just to be clear on that, like I've got our Facebook Live video just here sitting, and it seems to be working completely fine for me.
So it's just your internet, Marianne. It's nothing we can do to help, unfortunately. But
and sometimes changing your browser can help. Like for example, if you're using Mozilla Firefox or Chrome or Safari, sometimes you can actually change the browser, and that can help, or shut down other tabs that you're using currently. Anyway, bit of physio tech advice.
All right, I think we are just about good to go, Jack.
Excellent.
We got a little little finisher.
We've got a really nice finisher. This was sent in by Carlene, one of our members. She said it's a bit of a spur of the moment thing, like much of her poetry is. She's thanking us, or Be Mobile, I should say, for her habits that she's formed around exercise. She said, I could have never have achieved it without your program, your constant reminders to do something rather than nothing. The habit grows. Awesome, Carlene. We do appreciate your thanks for us, but I would also say thank yourself, because you're the one who has to actually get up and do the workouts. We're just here to prompt you to do them. So always remember you are the one who has done them, and that's really important to remember. Okay, Brody, should we read the poem? Brody and I are going to go stanza by stanza.
Yeah, it's just a sweet little 5 stanza thing.
I loved it. Okay, here we go. 55 and over, this is for you. One of the best things you can do. Exercise can be great fun, and your journey to fitness can be begun.
Strength and balance and cardio too, all these things are good for you. Maintain muscle and strengthen bone, improve your joints and body tone.
Step aerobics to strengthen your knees, lots of squats, make gardening a breeze. Weights to lift those heavy things, confidence that fitness brings.
Expert tuition from those who know, help your skill and knowledge grow. Strengthen your body and your mind. Look forward in life and not behind. Jack
and Ollie and Brody too, Alicia and Garrick will all help you. Get on board and go, go, go with a great Be Mobile physio. So good. Very good.
Sending that in, Colleen. That was awesome.
Yeah, we really do appreciate that. I just think it's really cool. All right.
Lovely.
That's it from us this week, folks. I hope you enjoyed the live today. Once again, you can check out the replay and do the test again if you kind of didn't do that test. But yeah, see how you go, testing your balance, and those scores, once again, you can go back and have a look at the scores as to how you did compared to people your age.
One last closing thought I had on that, Jack, as well, is when we were just talking about agility, like reaction time and things being part of balance as well.
Yep.
It's just that this is one test for balance. It's measuring one aspect of balance. It's not comprehensive in and of itself. It doesn't tell you everything to know about your balance. When we're assessing someone's balance as physios, we'll do a whole battery of different tests to establish different, and there are balance tests related to stepping and reaction time and things. So.
It'd be like saying, here's my grip strength, that's my whole body strength.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
it's not exactly. It might correlate, but it's not exactly the whole thing. So yeah, there is more to say about that. But there we go. That's it for today. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 4 p.m.
Bye.